Now in May, I created a video that essentially dissected what would it look like if an AI became a Buddha. And we had to kind of reverse into how we understood what is a Buddha and then look at what is the current research in AI and machine learning and how that would kind of lead towards an AI, or what are the limitations on whether or not that could lead to an AI. And you can check out the video, but in a lot of ways, it's going to be a very, very hard problem. I think one of the points that I made there, central points, is that an AI needs to have gone through the experience that a human, a non-enlightened or a non-Buddha-like person, and then arriving or becoming a Buddha, and then be able to translate that. Just like, a master tennis player needs to go through the process of going from zero to hero in order to teach you, right? So a more simple problem, I think, is whether or not an AI can teach you meditation. Because if you go online right now and you look up, what are different types of meditation that I should do, and you just Google that, you're going to get tons of different suggestions, and a lot of them are going to be probably pretty good, especially if all you wanted was kind of peace and quiet, and you wanted just to be able to breathe in and out and have a less kind of crowded and messy mind. There's plenty of tools for that. Now, whether or not you'll stick with it and be disciplined about it, that's another problem. But I think that is the problem that needs to be solved in terms of meditation teaching. Now, right now, we live in a kind of a privileged moment where there's so many meditation apps, right? Calm, Headspace, and all of their competitors, Insight Timer, and all of these apps, as well as Mac apps and PC apps and Android apps, etc. And we also have like plenty of schools and places that you can go learn yoga and meditation, etc. But obviously that doesn't scale for a lot of reasons. It's costly, but there's always going to be this drive towards somebody wants to create a way to do this, right? So I think it's going to be inevitable that someone creates a meditation AI that helps you to learn. Now, what are the problems with that? Now, on one side, I think it's not going to be hard for a person like myself to go and tell this AI everything that is wrong with me or everything that is going on in my head, and for it to assess like what are my mental states. Do I have ADHD? Do I have Alzheimer's? Do I have OCD? Do I have whatever? And for it to then suggest AI based on its understanding, or suggest a meditation based on its understanding of who I am and what works for me. At the same time, there's going to be this dilemma of how do I keep up with it, right? Because with meditation, it's always a dilemma of do I keep going with the meditation or not, right? People oftentimes they pick it up just like they go to the gym, and then in a few weeks or a few months, they're done with it. There's this balance that really strong meditators have where they go to retreats. They spend 5 days a year to 10 days a year, and they go annually to train and hone their meditation practice. And then they have a daily practice every day, Monday in the morning, Monday in the evening, Tuesday, Wednesday, et cetera, et cetera. That discipline is really hard to do on your own without having that discipline from the start, right? In a lot of ways, people in the past did it more because they had meditation teachers, which helped them on a daily basis or kind of push them. If you were a monk, you would go into a monastic center or a monastery, and the masters there and the head monks and all the senior monks there would push you, and you would have a kind of cocoon, so to speak, in which you would be practicing all the time. This doesn't happen in the modern world. We have a billion distractions every day. We've got the news, we've got our phones, we've got our jobs, people, friends, family, etc., strangers. And so our brains are clogged, they're messy, our attention spans are shot. But we need, or at least people who want to meditate, need a way to kind of dam that river of, modernity. And so to me, I think the challenge is, can someone create an AI, or maybe even it's a robot, that not only adapts to where your mind is at, where it understands what you're going through and prescribes a meditation? Because there are hundreds of types of meditation, and they all have different impacts on a person, right? Be it chanting, be it breath meditation, be it body scanning meditation, be it visualization. All these have different impacts on the mind, and these are still being studied very closely. And so in theory, AI meditation teacher would be able to prescribe for you the type of meditation that is suitable for your needs, as well as being able to hold you accountable and observing the changes and then prescribing as you go. So it's an interesting dilemma that I think is a different dilemma from, say, an AI that necessarily would be a Buddha or a Zen master right out the gate. Because that's a different problem and maybe a different focus for another video. But suffice it to say that when you have an entity, an AI or a person teaching you meditation, it might just end at, hey, I just want to be more clear-headed, more productive, more calm. And if that's the goal, that's it. But if the goal is something deeper, like I want to become more self-aware, I want to become less egotistical, I want to become I'm going to remove my anger, not just become less angry, and I want to become awakened, being the biggest goal, or enlightened, or however you translate that, become a Buddha. That is a completely different framework to think about, right? And so I think it's interesting when we think about this particular problem of meditation can just be a prescription based on where you're at and the endpoint that you want to get to. But getting to awakening is something else entirely, because I think that's tagging into something much deeper to a person and would require that an AI understands you at a much deeper level and understands a lot of deeper concepts that it can translate into a teaching to you. So anyway, those are kind of my quick thoughts on what that might look like. What is an AI meditation teacher look like? All right. See you in the next one.